The satisfaction that comes from achieving something important stays with you, making all the effort feel worthwhile. That feeling can become part of your daily routine by feeding your mind, taking in new knowledge, and using what you've learned to improve yourself. It's the small moments of growth that lead to the biggest changes. Today, we're going to talk about something powerful, something that can change your life without needing to change everything about your routine or your lifestyle. You don't need hours of free time, expensive courses, or any special equipment. All you need is a commitment to yourself, a decision to learn something new every day. It's the small steps you take each day that make a lasting impact on your future. Let's talk about how learning for just 30 minutes each day can transform everything, from your career to your relationships to the way you see the world. In life, growth is essential. Every living thing grows. If you stop growing, you begin to stagnate. The same goes for your mind. If you're not feeding it, if you're not challenging it, you'll find yourself feeling stuck, feeling like nothing is moving forward. And that feeling of being stuck is one of the most frustrating things anyone can experience. But here's the thing. You don't need to change everything overnight. The biggest transformations often come from the smallest, most consistent efforts, and there's no better way to make that effort than by committing to educating yourself every day. When we talk about education, it's easy to think back to school days or formal training sessions, but real education, self-education, is a lifelong journey. It doesn't stop when you graduate. It continues throughout your life. This kind of learning is what separates those who just exist from those who excel. And the good news is anyone can start. It's never too late. And no matter where you are in life, you can take control of your own growth. Think about this. Every book you read, every article you skim, every video you watch, and every podcast you listen to is an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to add to your knowledge, challenge your thinking, and ultimately improve your life. Now, this doesn't mean you need to lock yourself away for hours on end. In fact, it's not about the amount of time at all. It's about the consistency. Spending even 30 minutes a day learning something new can have a tremendous impact on your life. And over time, those 30 minutes will add up. Imagine the difference a year could make if you dedicated just 30 minutes a day to learning. So how do you get started? It's all about building a system that works for you. We all have different schedules, responsibilities, and interests, so your learning system needs to fit into your life seamlessly. The goal here is to make learning a habit, something you naturally incorporate into your day. First, let's talk about finding the right resources. Today, we're lucky enough to have an endless amount of information at our fingertips. Whether it's through books, podcasts, online courses, or videos, you can learn practically anything you want with just a quick search. But the key is finding the resources that resonate with you. If you're more of a visual learner, videos might be the best fit. If you're constantly on the go, listening to audiobooks or podcasts can be a great way to absorb information. The point is to find what works for you and stick to it. Next, you need to carve out time in your day for learning. Now, this might sound challenging, especially if you already have a busy schedule, but it's easier than you think. You don't need to block out hours. Just find those pockets of time where you can fit in learning. It could be during your commute, while you're waiting in line, or even while you're cooking dinner. Once you identify those moments, make them your learning time. You can also take advantage of tools and apps that make learning more accessible. Platforms like Coursera, Skillshare, or Udemy offer courses on everything from business to personal development. If you're interested in reading but feel like you don't have the time, apps like Audible or Blinkist let you listen to books on the go. These resources remove the excuse of "I don't have time" because you can learn while doing other tasks. Now that you have your tools and time figured out, let's talk about what you should be learning. This is where it gets personal. The beauty of self-education is that you can tailor it to your interests and goals. Ask yourself, what do I want to improve? What do I want to know more about? Whether it's learning a new language, developing a skill for work, or diving deeper into a personal interest, the content you choose should excite and challenge you. Remember, this is your journey, and you're in control of where it takes you. While it's easy to talk about learning and personal growth, the truth is there are mental barriers that get in the way. One of the most common barriers is simply not feeling motivated to learn. Life gets busy, and by the end of the day, it's easy to feel like you just don't have the energy to pick up a book or listen to a podcast. But here's the thing. Motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. The more you make learning a habit, the less you'll rely on motivation to keep going. Just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed in the morning, learning can become second nature. Start small, be consistent, and soon enough, it will feel like a natural part of your day. Another common barrier is the fear of failure. Many people feel like it's too late to start learning something new, or they worry that they won't be good at it. But failure is a natural part of learning. It's often the most important part. Every time you make a mistake, you're getting closer to understanding. So embrace the process. Don't be afraid to fail, because every failure is a step toward growth. Perfectionism is another hurdle that holds many people back. There's a tendency to think that if you can't master something right away, it's not worth doing. But learning isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, and pushing yourself to grow. Over time, you'll see that the small, imperfect steps you take add up to something incredible. And lastly, many people believe they just don't have the time. But the truth is, you don't need a lot of time to see results. If you can commit to just 30 minutes a day, that's more than enough to make meaningful progress. The key is to use the time you have wisely and to make learning a priority, even in the smallest ways. Now, learning is one thing, but applying what you learn is where the magic happens. Knowledge without action is just potential. It's only when you start applying what you've learned that you begin to see real change in your life. Think about it. What's the point of learning if you don't use it to improve your life? Whether it's a new skill, a different way of thinking, or a small piece of advice, the value comes when you put that knowledge into practice. For example, let's say you've been learning about time management. It's great to read books and listen to podcasts on the subject, but the real impact comes when you start implementing those time management techniques in your own life. You could start by organizing your day more effectively, setting clear priorities, and creating routines that help you stay on track. Over time, these small changes will lead to big results in your productivity and overall well-being. It's important to remind yourself that applying what you learn doesn't need to be a dramatic or life-changing event. It can be as simple as making small adjustments in your daily routine, trying out new methods at work, or even changing the way you approach conversations. These little tweaks can create ripple effects in your life, leading to bigger and better outcomes. And here's the best part. The more you apply what you learn, the more confident you'll become in your ability to learn and grow. Each small success will build your confidence and encourage you to keep pushing yourself. So don't just learn. Act on that knowledge and see how it transforms your life. Consistency is the foundation of any habit, and when it comes to learning, it's no different. One of the best ways to make learning a part of your daily life is by following what we call the 30-minute rule. This rule is simple. Dedicate at least 30 minutes each day to learning something new. Why 30 minutes? Because it's a manageable amount of time that anyone can fit into their day, no matter how busy they are. It's long enough to make progress, but short enough that it doesn't feel overwhelming. The key to the 30-minute rule is making it non-negotiable. Treat it like an important appointment with yourself, something you won't skip or reschedule. And remember, it doesn't have to be 30 minutes all at once. You can break it up throughout the day. Maybe you spend 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes on your lunch break, and 10 minutes before bed. The important thing is that you're consistent. When you follow this rule, you'll find that learning becomes a natural part of your day, and over time, those 30 minutes will add up. Imagine where you'll be in a year if you spend just 30 minutes a day learning something new. You'll have read dozens of books, mastered new skills, and expanded your knowledge in ways you never thought possible. Consistency also helps build momentum. The more you stick to your learning habit, the easier it becomes. And soon enough, you'll find yourself looking forward to your 30 minutes of learning each day. It's a small commitment that leads to big results. Beyond the practical benefits, there's an emotional aspect to daily learning that's often overlooked. When you commit to learning something new every day, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're investing in yourself. And that investment builds self-worth and confidence. When you know that you're constantly improving, that you're better today than you were yesterday, it boosts your self-esteem. You start to believe in your ability to grow, to adapt, and to overcome challenges. You no longer feel stuck or stagnant. Instead, you feel empowered, knowing that you're taking control of your growth and future. Daily learning also helps you build resilience. Life can be tough, and we all face setbacks. But when you're committed to learning, you're constantly building new skills and perspectives that help you navigate challenges. You become more adaptable, more resourceful, and more prepared for whatever life throws your way. And perhaps most importantly, daily learning brings a sense of fulfillment. There's something deeply satisfying about knowing that you're growing and evolving every day. It gives you a sense of purpose and direction, and it reminds you that you're capable of achieving great things. To wrap it all up, learning doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to see real, meaningful change. All it takes is a commitment to yourself, a commitment to spending just 30 minutes a day learning something new. The small moments of growth you experience each day will lead to the biggest changes over time. You'll build confidence, develop new skills, and open yourself up to new opportunities. And the best part? You're in control of it all. So, start today. Dedicate those 30 minutes to yourself. Whether it's reading a book, listening to a podcast, or watching a video that challenges your thinking, make it a priority. The investment you make in your own education will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. Remember, the journey to personal growth and success doesn't happen overnight. It's the small, consistent steps that make the biggest difference. And by committing to daily learning, you're setting yourself up for a future filled with growth, achievement, and endless possibilities.